On November the 5th, 1975, Travis, aged 22 at the time, was working as part of a 7-man forestry crew led by someone called Michael Rogers, where he claims he was abducted by our favourite little green men. The job itself was the thinning down of 1,277 acres in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest by August, but an extension to the job was made, changing the end date to November the 10th, out of fear of the crew not finishing in time. On October the 16th, a forestry inspector stated that it would be impossible to have the job finished on time, and failure in doing so would lead to a fine of $2,500 and a permanent disqualification from other forestry jobs. As you can imagine, man, this made the gang rather determined to get the work done. Following this, on the 20th of October, the UFO incident, which is a film based on the Hills abduction case, aired on TV. The Hills case, for those unaware, is one of the first reported cases of alien abduction. I've already made a video about the case, so if you want the full details, go and check the channel out, man. And 2 weeks after the film was aired, Travis was allegedly abducted. This led to many people doubting his claims, saying it wouldn't be hard to fake a story after seeing the film. The fact that he also reportedly told his good old mumsy, not long after seeing the film, that if he ever got abducted by aliens, don't worry because he'd return safe, really didn't help his case either, man, leading many to believe it to be a hoax. Everyone involved in the incident said they were driving through the forest at night when they saw a bright light. Travis supposedly got out the truck and ran toward the light when he got struck by a beam which made him fall unconscious. The other men said they drove away due to basically shitting themselves, man, and when they returned, Travis and the light were gone. The day after he was initially abducted, his wife had reported him missing, so the search for him was already underway. A search party of nearly 50 people scoured the area, but failed to find Travis or any signs of any altercations. Law enforcement was surprised when after a few hours, Travis's mother told them, "I don't think there is any use of looking any further. He's not around. I don't think he's on this earth." The search was called off, but the following day, 2 of the members from the Travis crew complained and another search started, this time with a helicopter, but once again failing to find anything, so it was called off. From Travis's point of view, he says when he saw the light, he ran towards it, and all he remembers is them falling unconscious and waking up inside some sort of craft where he was surrounded by little humanoid figures with no hair. He then claims these beings performed a medical examination on him, including the insertion of a tube, which I really don't want to know where it was inserted, so I didn't look, and a gelatinous substance which they forced into his mouth. He describes a feeling of being helpless and completely drained of all energy. Sounds like me on a weekend. One incident he claims occurred was when he managed to get enough strength to lift himself off the bed and pick up a long metallic cylinder-like object which he used to hit 2 of the aliens with, which I found quite funny, man. 5 days after his alleged abduction, he claims he was returned to the forest, where he then made a phone call to his sister, but instead was met by her husband, Grant Neff. He reportedly said Travis sounded drunk during the phone call. He would get examined by doctors who claims he was in a very confused state and had a small lesion on the inside crease of his right elbow, consistent with intravenous drug use. Doctors said the puncture mark was estimated to be between 24 and 48 hours old. Stories about Travis's abduction started spreading like wildfire within a day of his return, leading him to undergo a series of interviews and hypnosis sessions. He also took a polygraph test where he attempted to trick the machine by purposely holding his breath. On November 22nd, Travis appeared on Phoenix television station Cool, where he was interviewed about the incident. He claimed he lost consciousness when struck by a beam, awoke in a hospital-like room, being observed by 3 short, bold creatures. He says that he fought them off until a human wearing a helmet led him into another room, where he blacked out after 3 other human beings placed a plastic mask over his face. He remembers nothing else until he found himself walking along a highway 5 days later with the flying saucer departing above him. In the days following Travis's UFO claim, the National Enquirer awarded him and his co-workers a $5,000 prize for the best UFO case of the year, which I had no idea was even a thing, man. Ufologist Jim Ledwich said for 5 days the authorities thought that he'd been murdered by his co-workers, and then he returned and all co-workers who were there, who saw the spacecraft, all took a polygraph test and they all passed except for one, and that one was ruled out inclusive. Travis would go on to write a book about his experience in 1978 called The Walton Experience, which would get adapted into the film Fire in the Sky, which released in 1993. He dislikes the film, he said, because it significantly misrepresents his actual abduction experience. He specifically criticises the abduction scenes, asserting they bear little resemblance to his account. Even the movie screenwriter admitted to fabricating parts of the abduction scenes due to Travis's description being too mundane and wanting a more flashy portrayal. The case with Travis, like all the other abductions, is highly debated to this day, but the majority, including believers, class his story as a hoax which is based off the Hills abduction, with Travis wanting to gain a level of fame through his story, which he did indeed achieve. But the more important thing I want to know about it all is, what do you think?